Ooh, wow, my camera's not pointed at me. We had to move around my office. I'll tell you why in a minute. You'll notice the background's different. So it's a whole new world. Let's see. Let me see if I can get myself centered. There we go. Dead center. All right. So much to talk about today, but the main topic is we're going to talk about kicking off applications to the Mentor Network. So if you want to be a mentee, this is going to be your chance. And we're going to have room for about 50 people, 40 to 50. I should say 40 people. We have 10 good mentors, 12 maybe. And this is going to be your chance. The people who are here are going to get first access to the link. We're going to push it live after we review it. Really zoomed in chat. Yeah, wow, that's true. Let's see what else. Pink Dragons. Oh, 21 months tier 2. Thank you. Yeah, Matchstick. I noticed that. Like 1 extra month. All right. What are you looking for in the application? Well, that's the point of the show. We're going to cover that in a few minutes. So we're just going to let people come in. I'm going to talk about a couple other things. Then I'll run you all through the application. And you can see what we want. And then you can go for it, because I'll post the link. So we're just going to make sure if there's anything we need to add. Awesome. All the old timers are re-upping their subs as they show up, which is fantastic. Okay. So what should we talk about? First, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I'm moving houses. So had a chance to buy a house that's going to be a little bit better for doing live events when COVID allows that. And I'm going to move about a mile from where I live to the next town over. Oh, Matchstick gifting subs. And they went to so many good people. Kai Kavinder is one of our mentors. Vimsim is one of our mentors. So they're hitting the right folks. The Rex, resubscribe with Prime. Old timer coming back. Great to see you. Thank you all. Driving the hype train of all technology. That was one of the last things built by my team when I left Amazon, by my old team. By the way, we should show the new drink. It's a weird one. We found we really like Drambuie. And so the new drink is the Kingston Club. Drambuie, pineapple juice, lime juice, Fernet Branca, for which I think we substituted Worcestershire sauce, Angostura bitters, and orange peel. It's good. It's yummy. Try something new. Those lumber prices, though. Yeah, I hear lumber's way up. Iconic, thank you for the sub. All right. So we're going to be moving. So in a few weeks, you'll see my background change. Meanwhile, like this stuff, this is from what's called a stager. So for those of you who've never bought or sold a house or who aren't from the U.S., there's actually professionals who go around your house, take down all of your stuff, redecorate it, and decorate it in a way that they think will make people buy it. And so like the art over there of surfboards on top of old woody station wagons, that's from the stager as well. And most of our actual stuff is packed up and stuffed in our garage. But it worked. Our house sold in 2 days in the crazy U.S. real estate market. So that's thing one. We're moving. Someday you'll see a new background. The good news is my streaming room will be much bigger and better shaped, and I'll be able to do more lighting. And I'll be able to do better lighting so I look less like a pasty ghost on a pasty ghost background. Yeah, it sold in 2 days. That's normal. We had 4 offers, all above asking price, and that's also normal. There's been a case in the U.S. recently of a house that got 88 offers in its like first weekend on the market. Obviously, I forget where it was, but this is not uncommon right now. There's something like 4 million more people who want to buy houses than there are houses available. So, well, the reason you don't sell above market is you're going to have to buy above market when you buy. Yeah. Matchstick lives not far from here, and he's saying he sold his townhouse in Linwood in 2 days with 5 offers. Yeah, we did the same thing. We went on the market Friday, and we took an offer Sunday night. Um, yeah, that 70% over asking for that house in D.C., you're right, it's crazy. All right. So that's the house news. You guys will get a tour of some of the areas once we move. You'll see my new streaming room. It'll be about a month. I'm dreading moving, by the way. You all can put your numbers in chat if you want to participate real quick for a minute. I know some of you are younger. Most of you are younger. 40 Pink Dragons and I were counting up how many times we've moved in our lives. I believe this will be my 24th place I will live. And for her, it will be her 18th place she will have lived in her life. And Baborka, the painting will be back. It's stored away safely over here off screen, but it will be back. I'm just moving a mile or so to a nicer house. But yeah, 24 moves. I've lived all over Seattle. So Matchstick 13. And Matchstick's a lot younger than I am, so he's on pace. I love this. I love bringing these topics up. It's fun just to watch you guys comment. So the second thing we can talk about, and then we'll get into the application. I won't drag it out. Yeah, I am running from the CIA, that's for sure. The second thing we can talk about is 40 Pink Dragons and I were able to get our vaccines, our second shot of the Moderna vaccine Thursday. And that shot has a reputation of giving you flu-like symptoms the next day. And definitely the reason I didn't stream yesterday was I felt poor and she felt worse. Totally worth it to be safe from COVID, to feel bulletproof. And Major Gamer Geek, congratulations, you're getting your shot soon. No, it wasn't 24 moves all in Seattle. But probably I've done like 8 moves in Seattle. It's 24 moves in my life. But I moved around a lot in Seattle. So anyway. But get your shots, but be ready. If you have the option to schedule your second shot, if you're on one of the 2-shot drugs, for someday when you can take it a little easy, because you'll want to. And the younger you are, the harder it hits you, because your immune systems are stronger, and so it responds more strongly, so it actually lays you out more. So this is one of the rare cases where my white hair really protected me. All right, boy, I can share my hype train emote, and why wouldn't I pause to do that? But more seriously, it's fun. It's good fun. So vaccines, get them. And in America anyway, and I know this will piss off some of the people from around the rest of the world where this is not true. In America, we're starting to see demand decline, where all the people who are willing to drive 2 hours to get in line for a vaccine have now been able to get it. And what's left are either the people who don't want a vaccine or the people who are like, yeah, I'll get one if it walks up to me and, shows up in my arm, but I'm not going to put any effort in to find one. And so America is moving to this phase where now basically we have to chase people around with needles and try and stab them. So I think there's a video game in that. Like, somewhere you need a game about like vaccinate the reluctant. It could be a great quick flash game or something like that as a meme. Where you have to vaccinate, I could take this really far. You could years ago there was a video game called Redneck Rampage, which now would probably be considered politically incorrect, but it was a funny name. And I can see there's a hillbilly vaccination program or something. You could have a lot of fun where it's like one of those sniper games where you're going for headshots, but you've got vaccine and a dart gun and you're trying to hit people in the Walmart parking lot. All right, I haven't had that much to drink, but I'm off color, so I should let it be. But that to me, that image is funny as hell. Ah, well, got to get in a little trouble. Why not? Um, yeah. Uh, okay. And look, it is bad, right? Around the world, we don't talk about COVID too much anymore, but you've got problems in India and stuff that are pretty bad. So there's one other thing I want to talk about. Probably the next show I'm going to do. I'll probably do a show on flow. And if you're really interested, you've heard me talk about flow before. There's this book, The Art of Impossible by Stephen Kotler. And I'll put the link in chat here in a second. I've read 3 books on flow now, trying to figure the topic out. And this book impresses me. So it's the best summary I've read. Like I said, I did the work to read a few different books. And this one impresses me. Let's see if we can get this to work. More than many books on the topic. And so I kind of did the legwork to check them out. Where'd this go? Pissing me off here. Let's see. So, if I did this right. Sorry, slightly distracted. I haven't actually tested this link, but that link should take us to the book and then should let you buy it in a way that gives credit to the channel. Yeah, so if you're interested, check out the book. I'm going to talk about it next time. It's a lot of wisdom distilled, and it's pretty thorough. And it's how to do impossible things. Regular people can do impossible things. So, all right, well, I'm not going to spend any more time on that. I want to bring up the Mentor application and talk you through it because we're going to open it up. So for anybody who's new or doesn't, like the Rex, who hasn't been around and doesn't know what we're up to, a couple months ago, I polled the channel and we realized that what people needed most or wanted most was mentorship. And so we decided to build a mentor network. And first we ran a design contest and we had some winners to design the program. And then we recruited some mentors and we got them a couple weeks ago. And I did a little training session for them in my last live stream. And now we need to let people apply to become the pilot class of mentees. Now, here's your disclaimer. If you choose to participate in this program, you're not paying for it, and you're working with random internet strangers. If that doesn't give you the willies, the warnings, and the idea that probably all we're going to do is ask you for your bank account information and then move to the Cayman Islands, I don't know what will. So participate at your own risk. Only put information out on the web you're comfortable with. Probably don't meet up with any strangers at their invitation to have an in-person meeting in a dark alley in Poughkeepsie, New York. Buyer beware, caveat emptor. And if your body ends up lost somewhere covered in lime and the dogs can't find you, I don't know. Just anyway, be smart. What should a mentee expect from participating? Here we go. Let's just talk through it. Because that's all written down in the application. So let me bring it on screen. So this is what I'm going to release in a minute. This is just a Google Doc where you'll be able to apply. And the Mentee Pilot Program application. This form allows application to the Spring 2021 Mentee Pilot Program. While obviously we hope you'll learn a lot in the program, the main point of the pilot program is not for you to have successful mentoring, but rather for you to help us understand what it takes to build a good mentor network. So I think you'll get a lot out of being mentored, but I don't really care. I mean, I do care, but I don't. The real point is you'll participate and help us figure out what works. Here's some information. We have room for about 40 people. That's about 30 people in one-on-one mentorship slots, and then we're going to do a dozen small people in small group slots. One-on-one mentorship will be 6 one-hour meetings, so one every other week for 3 months. Small group mentorship will be roughly the same. individuals are free to do more. So if you and your mentor agree that you want to meet more or less or differently or longer or shorter or in email, that's all going to be up to you. We prefer it not be less so that we get a feeling of what 6 hours looks like over 3 months. We're going to probably do applications for a week. And so until roughly May 1st, it'll probably take us 2 weeks to sort out matching people up. And the pilot program will run through May 15th. We'll start May 15th and run 3 months. In the future, there will probably be a fee for the pilot or for the mentorship network. And that's not so I can make a bunch of money. It's instead to cover costs. And we're going to talk about that at the end of this. By the way, if you see anything in here that's a typo, an F up, or something I should fix before it goes live, feel free to put it in chat. In the worst case, 40 Pink Dragons will catch it and run up and bang on my door and say, don't miss this. I already covered this point. There are no guarantees. You're not paying, so you're getting exactly what you're paying for, which is nothing. We will attempt to match you with someone who can mentor you. One way we may match you is not select you and say, hey, thank you for applying. We don't have the right mentor this time around. Try us later. The second way we'll try and match you is by what you say you're interested in and what the mentors are good at. The mentors need to choose as well. The third thing I have learned by reading the book I recommended, not the book I just recommended, but the other one. Let's see. I recommended a short book on mentoring. And this book on mentoring, I've advised or asked, not required, asked all the mentors to read it. But it also talks about how to get the most out of being a mentee. So whether you get mentored by someone in our network in this pilot or later, or whether you get mentored by somebody else and you want to know how to find a mentor, this super short book, that's funny. I love that correction, Dingy Ducky. You are right. I will fix that. That bothers my OCD. I think it should be one-on-one there, and I like the hyphens. All right, one-on-one in both. Anyway, this book talks about how to find a mentor and how to be a good mentee. It also talks about what the mentor should do. And the last thing it talks about, which is going to be tough for us, is it talks about the importance of the mentor and the mentee matching, of them fitting together culturally, of them vibing, feeling like they're on the same wavelength, whatever you want to call it. We're going to try and do that when we match people, and we'll give a cycle where people can opt out and say, hey, I don't think it was a match, and we'll keep stats on how bad of a problem that is. And we'll do it at both the beginning and the end, so we'll track some of that. But that's a tough problem, and it's important, and the book emphasizes that. So feel free to read the book. It's short. I try to only recommend short books. The Stephen Kotler book on Art of Impossible is kind of long. This mentor book is like 90 pages. It's incredibly short, and it's quick. Okay, if more people apply than their slots, we'll choose who's the best match. The pilot program is not anonymous. If you really want anonymity, sit this round out. We haven't constructed any of the software that will allow you to be private. All the mentors are going to look at all the mentees, and we're going to divide people up. So if you really want secrecy, you're worried about the spies, the drones, the injectable chips, whatever your personal tinfoil hat conspiracy is, or just your native concern for your life, health, and safety, sit it out. We'll be back. We'll improve on this. That said, your LinkedIn is already public. So if you have one, it's not like you're advertising more info than that. 6 and 10 end with periods. They should not. Bullet points normally do not end with periods. The OCD of some of you reviewers is exceptional. I love it. 5G coverage. All right. We need some volunteers to test small group mentoring. So if you think you'd be willing to be mentored with 2 or 3 other people at once, sign up for that. I would expect this to be a bit easier to get into because it's a little less common, and so people aren't as used to it. Ideally, the idea here is that you not only get input from your mentor, you have 2 or 3 peers in a small group who can give you their insights, and you build a network with them, and it's stronger. So ideally, small group mentoring is better, but it takes a little bit more willingness to be vulnerable and be transparent and say, well, this is my problem, with 3 people listening rather than just 1. All right. What else we got? Hey, newsflash, when you're a mentee, you're actually responsible for driving the process. The job of the mentor is to be reasonably available and try to help. The mentor gives their best advice and experience, but setting up the meetings, coming prepared with questions, and following up, that's owned by you as a mentee. And then I put the book recommendation in here again. Okay, what are we asking for? What do you have to fill out? You got to give us your name. If you only want to give a first name or something, that's fine, but we'd actually like to know a name, hopefully your actual name. A LinkedIn profile, so that we can, if you have one, we need some way to know a little bit about you. We don't have a great way in this system to take in resumes or other stuff, so hopefully you have a LinkedIn. Most people do, not everyone. We need your full Discord ID, because for this pilot program, we will use my Discord server to communicate to the mentees. We'll end up inviting you all. I'll make you into mentees in the server, and you'll have a status and blah, blah, blah. So see, you'll be famous. This does mean if you hate Discord, if you don't know what Discord is, if you've never used Discord, this is probably not the right pilot. Again, we're going to talk more about software in a little bit. Do you want to do individual mentoring, small group? Are you okay with either? Hey, what do you actually want help with? Do you have any idea? If you've set any goals, tell us about them. What time zone are you in? I know some of you are in the EU, etc. So we're going to try and match you up to people who are available where you are. And then we have a list of our mentors. So I will thank them by first name now: James, Luis, Alden, Hemant, Jason, David, Luke, Kai, Matthew, Caitlin, Hake, and Stephen. There's also the option to say, they all seem great, put me with anyone. And there's the option to say, I don't think any of them can help me. And that's the end. That's the whole form. And yeah, some of the mentors, including VimSim, are here. Paramod, you have an interesting point. We should put a mentor command for the future and an app command. We're not going to do that right now, but we should, and we will. So good idea, good suggestion. Watch this, pen, writing it down. Mentor network chat command. So smart. Okay, so I didn't see anybody. Yeah, and Sandstrom, I know it's not the dominant platform in Germany. It's not even available, I think someone told me, in Russia. I'm using it because it's available. We're going to transition to that topic in a minute. But I want to go ahead and push this live so that those of you who have showed up and are watching can apply now. So, cool thing. Let's see. I'll make sure nothing shows up here that shouldn't. We want to send it by link. We want to shorten the URL. Copy that bad boy. All right, here we go. This should be the link to the application, right? There. So we'll either cut it off May 1st, or if we get way more than 50 applications before May 1st, we'll cut it off before May 1st. So I'll give you all who are watching a few minutes to get a head start, and then I will eventually post that same link in the Discord. Does it bother you, anyone else, that mentees and mentorship are both not words in spell check? Yes, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. By the way, I don't know if you saw that when I held my hand up. I got some good scratches. We went rock climbing on this trip I was in, and I slipped, and I had a hand jam in the rock, and it was sharp rock, and so yeah, bleed for your craft. Mentor is just someone's name. What should people do that don't have a LinkedIn? Either apply without one or make one real quick and stick your resume up there. It's not only for Americans. It's for anyone worldwide. We do have some mentors who are in the EU. Have I read any of Paul Graham's essays? Just a bit of them. So I own a copy of Hackers and Painters given to me by a friend, but I have not read them all. Feel free to keep dropping. So I don't know this Zing, but Sandstrom, but Zing, anything that gives us a link about you, you can stick into that LinkedIn part. So if your resume is up somewhere that you can link to, if there's another system that's publicly readable that you can link us to, what we really want is information about you so that we know who we're signing the mentor up to mentor, to see if there's a match. It's just a way of figuring out, do any of our initial list of mentors have a good fit? So that's all it's about. So put in what you like. Maximus, good afternoon, sir. Okay. What else do we need to cover? Here's what we need to cover. We will transition slightly. Question: how is confidentiality handled within the network? My LinkedIn runs on my real name. Yup. So I covered this earlier. We do not have a solution for confidentiality at this time. Now, there is no reason that the mentors really need to share your real name or your LinkedIn beyond the mentor network, but I'm not guaranteeing that they won't. So if you're super paranoid or just super concerned, I don't want to be judgmental. Paranoid in this case does not imply derogatory. It just means you care a lot about it. If you care a lot about keeping your real name separate from your Discord name for the pilot project, we don't have a solution for that, and I'm not going to bother. So it's not that I don't believe it's important. It's just I don't believe I have a solution. And you can either apply or not. Be part of the pilot or come back later when we solved it. These mentors are stacked. So you think they're good, Duke? Is that your overall rating? These are the people who applied to be mentors. Like, to be very candid, this is our community. These people showed up. They're wonderful volunteers. Only one of them did I reach out and solicit and say, would you be a mentor? The other, I think it's 11. I think there's 12 total. The other 11, pure volunteers from the community who said they would like to mentor. And I note, this is our Discord community. My LinkedIn community has a lot of very experienced executives. I don't know if they will mentor, but the idea of this program is that first we'll run a pilot and we'll get it figured out and squared away and some software built on Discord. Then I will take it out to LinkedIn and recruit hard for as many heavy hitters as I can get. But I don't want to do that until we have better software, better organization. We've worked out the kinks. We've figured it out. Yeah. Yep. And yeah, what you said is right. In general, I assume mentors are supposed to keep this data within the mentor group, but you can't legally guarantee that, so you don't have a bad apple in there or someone who accidentally leaks something. Yes, that is exactly right. Sandstrom, your comment is exactly right. I think all the mentors are great people who will not abuse your information, but I have no way to guarantee that. When we expand this program, there will be terms of service. So when we actually build it out after the pilot, there will be terms of service to be both a mentor and a mentee that will require people to maintain confidentiality, etc. However, requiring people on paper to do something still doesn't mean it will happen. And it will up it, it will raise the bar a little bit, and we'll try to improve protections, but there's no way to guarantee it. So go getter always, remember the remedy to an NDA is after. So someone leaks all your data, it's out there, and then you can go to them and sue them and say you did a bad thing, but your data is still out there. And trying to conduct a civil suit against somebody for violating an NDA is a little bit like chasing butterflies near a cliff. It's got mixed returns. So again, we'll do what we can there, but I want to be realistic about this. Look, it's mentorship. People are helping you. This is not financial nor mental health. It's career advice. It shouldn't be this super fraught with danger set of topics. But of course, life is imperfect. Okay. Matthew links in the application. Great question, Kyle. That is worth my looking at. I copied and pasted them, but if they don't work, they did work for me. Let's see. Oh, they're missing the HTTPS. It's probably what's going on. I'll edit that right now. I wonder if that's what's causing it. So one was missing HTTPS. Was Hemant's link? I tried his. Oh, it's missing the S. So let's see if I can fix them. They're probably being tripped up by your browser. But let me do a quick check. I appreciate this. We want to get it right. Yep, Hemant came up just fine. And now we'll go check the other one. La, 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 la. Thank you, though, for everybody carefully checking these. Yep, they both work for me, particularly now after they've been updated. So hopefully they work for you. I think you had prearranged topics. Yeah, I'm kind of with Dingy Ducky on NDAs. It's like that old saying about locks. They really only keep honest people honest. That's about how it is. Okay, cool. So everything's working. All right, so here's what we need. I'll put it out there first to you, and then I will announce it in Discord as well. Probably this system to scale needs some software. Many of the people who generated proposals gave us proposals for different commercial software that could be used, adopted, or modified. But we need a way to manage mentors, who they're mentoring, applications, and how to match people and feedback. What would be cool? I get a lot of questions for people who want to become PMs. And so my question would be, is there someone who is a PM or who's done some of the work to become a PM, a product manager, who wants to, let's see if this gives me the same short URL. It doesn't. Interesting. Oh, well. So this is a short URL to the same form, updated. I'll paste it in here. There it is. And I'll go paste it now in Discord. But is there someone... Okay, here is the application link. If you missed the show, watch the VOD to get the details. All right, cool. So is there someone who is a PM or who has done a lot of the work and has the skills who wants to act as product manager for an application to run this network? Major Gamer Geek, thank you for 6 months of tier 1 sub. That's really nice. Much appreciated. Appreciate the support and the long-term commitment. Is there someone with those skills? And here's what you get out of it. You get to do a lot of work for the community and have me micromanage you. And you get to work on something that may or may not ever get built because we have no budget. If this role is sounding attractive, here's why it's going to be good. I'm going to help you with your PM skills. And at the end of it, assuming it does get built, you'll have something you can reference, put on your resume as an activity as a product manager, and that will have a live link. People can go see the demo, and I will help you write your resume lines that talk about how you delivered as a product manager this new product as a part of a volunteer organization. You did it on limited budget with part-time help, and how it was a big challenge with a lot of impact. So, if you can be that product manager, reach out to me in Discord. You can message me there. Sign up to do that. Now, you're going to have to prove to me that you're the right person, that you at least have some of the skills. And I'm going to flog you mercilessly, perhaps in public, but probably just in private, if it turns out you commit and say you can do this, and then you flake and don't bother and ghost. But if there's someone who really wants a way to transition to product management, or who wants to enhance their product management standing with a publicly referenceable product, we need a PM. We need a PM for the application to manage the Mentor network. Now, guess what? We're going to extend this. Over time, we will need a software dev manager, an architect. We'll need some people to build it or administrate it. And I will get those volunteers too. And the pay will be the same. The pay will be, we'll build this thing, we'll roll it out, we'll have a Mentor network working, and you'll be able to reference a public product, and I will act as your reference for people when you seek a job in that field and say, yes, I worked with Cindy, or whatever your name turns out to be, Alicia. I worked with you, and I saw your work, and you delivered, and it's invaluable to our volunteer community, and you have great skills as a product manager and be an asset to any company so lucky as to have someone like you. So, that's a good thing, Duke. You can neither code nor manage, but do it for free. Oh, someone's looking to get banned. It's about to happen. Do, 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 do. All right. There we go. What else is up? So that was our topic for today, I think. And that's what we need. So I hope someone either knows someone who can do that and wants to move in. We get a lot of questions about how to be product managers. It's been a good show in the past. I hope someone wants to step up to that. And then... I speak enough pidgin German to flag stuff if I have to. German's easy to read. It's a toolkit language, right? Like if it's not slang. Oh, funny story since you speak German. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Years ago when I was in Germany, I wanted to learn German, and this is really old. I wonder if it... Yeah, it's not going to show up in English. There's a cartoon in Germany. It's written in the northern part of Germany called Werner. And it's old now probably, but it was all slang in a dialect called Hochdeutsch. And these guys recommended I get their comic books to help my reading of German, but it's all German slang in a dialect. So it was funny, but so it's good stuff. But it was kind of useless for learning German. So, Yeah, it's these guys. Here we go. We'll put it on camera. So I'm trying to learn German, and these guys, yeah, it doesn't really help you, but it is funny. Do you think you would ever have internship opportunities for the administrative side? Gene, yes, I do. I think even with software support, which is what we're going to work on first, we're going to need people to be part of, to do manual administration of the network. And that's one of the reasons we'll have a fee. So I talked earlier, after the pilot, we will have a fee for this program, more than likely. I've published elsewhere what the fee will be used for. So I'm going to rattle it back off the top of my head. But number one, the fee would be used to pay for the administrative work of matching people up, collecting feedback, all that kind of stuff, the sort of stuff Gene is asking about. Number two, I'll put myself back on camera here. Number two, the fee would be used to offer training to the mentors. So can we bring in speakers? Can we get them access to classes, to online material, other stuff that would help the mentors be better mentors and give them some rewards? Number three, we might actually get them, if they're in countries where we could ship it, a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker, a hat, an acknowledgement, something nice for them because they're volunteering their effort as mentors. Number four, we might use it to educate me in some way, since I need to be better at this as well. And finally, number five, we would give the rest to charity. But, and somewhere in there, I left out number zero, software. We need some basic software to run this at scale. And so, creating certifications. There you go. So those are the kind of things we do. I do not want this to be expensive. We did a poll, and we saw that people were willing to pay up to $50 every 3 months to be mentored, which is super cheap. If you go hire a coach, my hourly coaching rate, and people pay me this all the time, not all the time, but some people pay me this. My hourly coaching rate advertised on my website is $8.75 an hour. Some coaches are more, some are less, but 1 hour of coaching costs way more than a year of mentoring in this network at $50. So just to give you an idea, now mentors aren't coaches, right? They're not full-time professionals doing it on a paid basis. $8.75 an hour, it's a steal. That's right. It's barely minimum wage in Ohio. That's what my daughter made working at the ski lift. Okay, so hopefully someone already will have reached out to me, but if you know this person who wants to be a PM and has the right skills to product manage, collecting the feedback from our pilot program to figure out what kind of software we need and what we need to make this run, I did post the link. I will post it again, though, just for you. That's how much our community loves you, Turo. There it is. Either that or that link takes you to a spoof site that's going to ask for your credit card information. Yes, Brandywine. That's where she worked. Cheesecom Chris. I actually have a shirt at request from Brandywine. From her. Yes, it's a 300-foot ski hill. And the thing that cracks me up is it's owned by Vail. So if you're in the U.S. or you know anything about U.S. skiing, Vail is like the snootiest, basically one of the snootiest, most expensive resorts in the country. And they own this little 300-foot tall ski ditch. And it's a ditch because the way it's made is it's the edge of a hillside going down to a river. So it's the riverbank. So they own a ski ditch in Northeast Ohio. Because the highest point in all of Ohio is about 400 meters maybe. It's 1,400 feet. And so there just isn't that much. And that's the highest point in the whole state. So, all right. Major Gamer Geek. Application submitted. Good job. Yeah, I haven't gone over and looked. But I'll go check now and see what's come in. We have 4 responses so far. Everybody so far has LinkedIn. So, see, I'm disadvantaging the LinkedIn people. Or the people who don't have LinkedIn. Yeah, these are good. So we'll go through them. All right. So far, James is in the early lead for most popular mentor. And then there's somebody who's already said, it doesn't look like any of these people can help me. Should I ask my question again? I don't want to spam it. I don't know. Let me see. Should I apply to this if I don't have a career? I'm trying to build my skills in marketing and SEO, doing online business right now. Sure. I don't know as we'll select you, but if you want to apply, everyone needs a mentor. If you don't have a career per se, we'll look at it. It might be interesting to try and mentor someone who's just trying to get their career started. So, highest point in Kansas, a pole in the ground. I actually think Kansas, somebody look up the highest elevation in Kansas. I bet it's higher than Ohio. Even though the state's flat, I think on its like western edge near Colorado, it's pretty high. If I lived in Kansas, I'd want to be pretty high, but that's a separate point. All right. Let's see. Those are all my topics. Not quite. I can share one more personal thing just to keep everyone entertained. And then reiterating for everyone who came late, the applications are now open. We will leave them open about a week or until it fills up. Then we have to go through a matching process, and then we'll get the hell started. I'm hoping someone comes forward as a product manager to help collect what we need in a piece of software, design that piece of software as a solution, and help us get it built. The pay for that will be me and perhaps others becoming your references and advocates about what a great product manager you are, and we will accelerate your career forward to riches or Dogecoin, or both, or neither. All right. That is pretty high. So yeah, Kansas is higher. Yep. Kansas. So really that's like a lot higher than Ohio. Mount Sunflower. So no, I would keep the link. I'm not going to prevent you from sharing it elsewhere, but I'd keep it to us for now. And the reason is I'd rather fill up this pilot program with people from our community who are already here and who will give us great feedback. Now, once we have this thing scaled and ready to run, and we have the software built, and we have an administrator like Gene or somebody ready to work it, and I go out to LinkedIn and get a bunch of mentors, I want to send it out everywhere. But for the pilot, I would say let's keep it to us, because even if we only mentor 20 people and not 40, I'd rather learn from you and work with you to perfect it. Friendly audience. So that's the idea. All right. Last thing I will mention, just for fun. I think I told you all that I signed up for a class on meditation. I want to learn more about meditation practice. I've always been interested in it. I've never felt I had time for it. Last week, we started doing mindful yoga in the class, which if you want something that attracts like Snickers, the two words mindful yoga, it's hard. Like you can do better than that, but it's tricky. That said, I have a couple things to say. Number one, I find I really enjoy yoga. It's peaceful for me. So if you've never tried it, give it a run. Second, I will say yoga is something that if you're a tough guy or tough girl, you're buff, you're strong, you're fit, you're young, it's so easy to look at yoga and be like, what are they doing? Like they're waving their arms around, they're standing on one foot, they're leaning this way and that. Like there's nothing going on there. And then you try to do it. And I would bet that there's a lot, matchsticks going where I'm going. There's a lot of yoga teachers that can grind strong men from the local CrossFit gym or the army or wherever into the ground. An hour of yoga or 2 hours of yoga, which I haven't done. I've done half an hour of stuff. But I can just see, like, if you got a yoga teacher mad and he or she was like, oh, just do this, just do that. At the end of an hour of just do this, just do that, you would be laid out. So, yeah, I'm curious about this. I figured Joe Rogan would have talked about it. I haven't seen, and I agree, it is more of a meditation, but it's a meditation where you don't have to hold perfectly still, which works a lot better for me. So, like Anawax, I find it calming. All right. So that's it. I don't have to do a long show today. The point was to announce this. We have 6 people who have applied. I hope some of the rest of you do. I hope many of the people in the Discord community do over time. And I believe that yoga was meant to prepare the body for meditation. That makes sense to me. I can believe that because I feel very calm after it. But please apply if you're interested and if you feel you can contribute. I'm looking forward to working with all the people who sign up as well as the mentors. If you have any further questions, this is like your last call for questions here. You can obviously ask them in our Discord later. But if you have any more questions, I will finish my drink and then we'll call it a show. I hope to be back next week talking about flow. Flow is the other side of mentorship. Mentorship is like how to improve your basic skills, how to get better by hard work. And the art of impossible is how to leapfrog some of the steps and achieve mighty things by cleverly pushing yourself and orchestrating your life to deliver the best. And so I think the two go together. Now we have 8 people who've applied. So they're coming in, they're rolling in. Gene, you can make contact with me now, but you may have to nag me again in the future when we're ready for it. Right now, I'm thinking, I know we'll need the admin piece, but I'm not there yet. That said, I have questions. I better go to the question tool. Here I am neglecting my own technology. How are mentees matched with mentors? Yeah, pin the first one, 40 Pink. So right now it's going to be manual. The mentors and I are going to look at the list. We're going to look at your preferences that you put in, the 3 boxes you checked when you said, I want to work this person or that person. And we're going to match people up as best we can. So it's going to be a manual process looking at what they feel they can teach or mentor best and what you said you wanted to learn. That doesn't scale, at least not manually, which is why we're going to need some software, which is why we need a product manager to volunteer. But it's going to be a manual process that we will do between May 1st and May 15th. So that's how they'll be matched. Second, what is the long-term vision of this coaching program? 2 things. Number 1, when I polled the community, what you told me was that what you needed the most help with was career mentorship. You needed someone to be your friend, to be your advocate, and to be your guide beyond what I could do in my broadcast to help you with your careers. So I set out to create that. And luckily, we have a lot of people who want to be mentors and want to help with that. So the first goal is to provide a scalable system for our community where people can get mentorship from people who want to give it and who are vaguely qualified, where vaguely means they have some success and they want to share it. Second, we created a motto for it, which is we want to enable people to do good while doing well. And what I mean there is I don't believe that being helpful, altruistic, a good citizen, concerned with the world, seeking peace, the prosperity of others, etc., needs to be separate from banking enormous amounts of money if that's what you need. I am speaking slightly hyperbolically for emphasis, but the point is, I hope that our mentorship program helps people do well financially so they feel that they have the economic stability and career success to contribute back to society, to pay it forward in some way and do good unto others. Because our world's a pretty screwed up place. It's got lots of problems. You can pick what you think is the most severe problem, but I want to enable more people to feel like they're in a position to give back, to be leaders, to be financial donors, to be advocates, to work for the greater good. And the more people I can help succeed in their careers, the more hopefully I can do that. So that is the long-term vision. If you have questions about that vision or suggestions for it, please feel free. How to manage a mentee who is older than a mentor and has more experience. Any tips? So, of course, taken on its surface, it would be weird. I'm going to go shorten this. It's bothering me that it overlaps the question. 1 second. Since we already have the topic up, we're going to cut that part out so the whole question shows. Look at that. On the fly. All right. Normally, the older person would be the mentor, but that is not always true. And one of the things, if you go read the book I recommended on mentorship, is it points out one of the best ways to learn something yourself is to teach it. And so the book is very clear. This book, The 1 Minute Mentor by Ken Blanchard. The book is very clear that mentors learn a lot from their mentees. They get exposed to cross-generational concerns. They get reminded of questions they weren't asking. They see what a younger generation is facing. They get a lot out of it. This question is, how do you manage a mentee who is older? Well, they might have more years of experience, but you wouldn't normally be mentoring an older person if you did not have more experience or value in a specific area. So, for example, I have streaming mentors. I have people who look after how I stream, how I do this show. They are all younger than me, but they are bigger streamers or have spent more time at it. So the key is, many of you know, for example, I've learned a lot from Devin Nash. I have Shadow Fox as one of our moderators. There are other people as well. The key is, if you have more expertise, it's about sticking to the areas where you have expertise. If some of the younger mentors who mentor me in various topics tried to mentor me in topics where I knew a lot more, that would be weird. But I am happy to defer, age being no object, to those who know more than me in a specific area. And so the way you mentor an older person is stick to the areas where you have more expertise, and then share them humbly, right? Share them with respect for the fact that they may have wisdom in other areas that makes it hard for them to accept some of that advice, and be patient. Remember, anytime you're mentoring someone where their ego gets pulled in, they're going to have a natural, difficult time for it. And so if someone wants to mentor me and they have good information, but they say, dude, you're kind of a boomer and it's going to be really hard for you to grasp this because you're kind of old and dumb, it's going to be hard for me to listen to what they say after that, right? Whereas if they say, wow, it's fantastic, you want to know about this, I'm so excited to help you, let me show you some things. Very different approach, right? Is your approach helpful or is it patronizing? So humility is a big thing. All right, let's see. Next, should I pick a mentor that fits most perfectly to us, or should I pick who could help me but maybe fit a bit less well because of availability? This is a tough question. Are you better picking the mentor who fits you best or the one who has the best skills? I would tend to say the one who fits you best. Now, this is important. For this mentorship pilot, we're doing 3-month mentorships. In the ultimate design of the network, we will also have a feature where you can have one-time meetings with someone to ask them specific questions. But you're like, hey, I don't actually need you to mentor me. I just know you're an expert in whatever, fly fishing in New Zealand, and I have a bunch of questions because I'm going to New Zealand and I love to fish. And so in that case, I would say go for the expert. If you want very specific questions answered and it's a one-time thing and you don't need a relationship, pick the person who has the expertise. But when you want to develop an advocate who will help tease apart and look inside your career and lead you, I think it's more important to pick the person who matches your personality that you fit with, because the value comes over the long-term relationship. So that's my best answer there. And the rest of it is you may have to meet with a couple people and see who fits. In this pilot, that may be a little harder, but another feature we will build in long-term is the ability to have introductory meetings and see if there's a match. And we will try that with this pilot as well. Next question. In my experience, most careers are stuck in mid-career. As part mentorship, how should we also plan to match mentor mentees based on their experience levels and where they are in their career? Yeah, obviously we're going to try and figure that out. We will generally try to match people with mentors who have 2 to 5 years, hopefully more like 5 to 10 years, more experience. That may not always be possible, and years is not the only variable, right? To the point earlier, younger people can have expertise or insight in a specific area. So most careers aren't really stuck mid-career, though. There's a lot of entry-level people. There's a lot of senior people who want to start giving back and being, they want to start being contributors to others. And I hope when we open this to LinkedIn, if we build the software right and really do it right, I hope we have plenty of relatively senior mentors. I don't know. This is a great experiment and you're taking part of it. And since it's all for free, more or less, you're getting more than what you're paying. So I don't know if it'll work. That's one thing. You may get to see our community and me have a giant fail. I don't think so. But whenever you start a new venture, that is a possibility that this will crater and 6 months from now we'll be like, wow, that totally didn't work. All right, next question. Is the pilot mentorship program more geared towards those in the middle of their career or someone at their start? It's not geared towards either, but I would say early to middle, we don't have a lot. There's no one in there that's late career. So I wouldn't say if you already have 20 years of experience and you're looking for a super senior mentor, the pilot program is not for you. If you're starting your career, you're out of college in the first couple years, it's good. If you're 5 years in, it's probably good. If you're 15 years in, it's going to be tough, depending, again, on your arc and trajectory. So that's my best answer for the pilot. And that's just based on who the mentors are. Again, I will hopefully pull in the people for the super senior folks later, but that's not the main need right now. Okay. Last question. Everyone, including yourself, speaks about the power and utility of having a presence on LinkedIn. Generally, I feel uncomfortable with people being able to search me and find out what I do currently as well as what I've done previously. Am I just being immature? I don't know if you're immature, but I guess I would ask, do you have a social media presence at all? Are you on Facebook, Instagram, etc.? On LinkedIn, you can choose to share what you want, but it is a real name, real place of work kind of platform. And it turns out most people are comfortable with other people knowing where they went to school and where they worked as a way of staying in touch with a professional network. I don't know, somebody else here could quickly look up how many million people are on LinkedIn globally. But I would say that it's probably 100 million, might be more. And so I'm not exactly sure how to answer this. I don't know if you're being immature, but the deeper question would be, why are 740 million? So 750 million people roughly are on LinkedIn. There haven't been any real cases that I'm aware of highly exploitative uses of LinkedIn or problems coming from it. You mostly get job offers for jobs you don't want, but that can feel good too, to know that at least if you needed them, they're available. So my real question, and you can put it in chat if you're still here, whoever asked this and you're willing to, is why does it creep you out? Like, what actually is bothering you about it? Because I would think I'm not going to judge you and say you're immature. I would say there's some concern you have that's unspoken in the question. You're not on any social media. So you obviously are a very private person, and that might be okay. Like, it's certainly okay that you're a private person. If you like to be a super private person, that's fine. I can say that you're unusual or atypical in that there are 250 million active monthly users on LinkedIn who have all this information public and find it valuable. But you get to choose. And you don't have to post a picture. There's other stuff you can choose to omit. But from a professional networking viewpoint, there's no question that LinkedIn and other sites like it, someone earlier was talking about, I think, Zing in Germany. Other sites like it are powerful. So I can tell you you're missing some benefits, but that's your question. Create a company and have the profile as a company. That would be tricky, but you could do that, right? You could have your own little LLC and have that talk about you and maintain your social links from there. Okay, one more question came in. Is the program US exclusive? It's not. I know, by the way, some of you may be asking that because Dr. K's program is currently US only. If you don't know Alok Kanagia and Healthy Gamer, his program, I think, is US only. For the pilot in particular, nobody's paying, nobody's getting paid. There are no guarantees of anything. It's just a volunteer effort. You're participating in a volunteer effort. So there's no limits where that can be from. The question is only if we have a mentor who can work in your time zone. Over time, will we be US only? I don't believe so. I do have to figure out some of the legal ramifications and whatever. But my goal is to have this open globally. So there you go. And yeah, when I say Dr. K's program, it's his signed up paid program that they're currently, I think, US only right now for the mental health support. I'm not sure what they call it. Healthy Gamer is not. Okay. I could have sworn that they were US limited, but condimenting, obviously I'm wrong about that. So I'm misinformed. I know they had some limitation that was, I know they had some limitation that was related to geography, but I'm obviously misinformed. So that's my fault. All right, I'm going to call it a day. I want to go do some other things. This is going to be great. Please apply if you want. If there's someone you know, coaches are US only. That might be it. They're only employing people or paying people in the US. That might be the limit. Would be a US mentor compatible with your opinion EU? Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with US-based mentors and EU mentees as long as they can meet. Nope, your coach is in the UK. I don't know, condimenting. I know that they do have some limit, but I'd have to go look up what they told me about it when I asked, because I asked them about it for this program. But anyway, I obviously don't have the details right, so don't trust me about their program. Look it up yourself. And I think the world of them as a program. With that, though, I'll be back in a few days. Please apply. I do think it's fine to apply if you're in the EU and to ask about US coaches and vice versa. I think people can work across time zones. We do it here all the time. I'm going to roll. I'm going to call it a day. And I hope you are all super well. I am excited to see this come to life. I'm very passionate about this program. When I was gone, I was very frustrated that my being on vacation was holding up progress. And so one of the things we're going to design in over time is some way that this can move forward and run without me, which is why we'll have an administrator and have some fees just to be able to make sure that it's not dependent on my presence. But I can't wait to get it started and run the pilot. So with that, apply if you're interested. If you know someone who's super interested, have them apply. And otherwise, come back in a week or so. We'll talk about how many applications there were and what we're doing next. The application deadline is either May 1st or when it fills up, where fills up means way more than the 40 we can take. And we'll figure it out from there. So you're better applying sooner, but you probably have nearly a week. All right. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to call...